Think about it. The great Airbnb oversupply. Is it happening? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning.
Oh, what a start.
There we go. Straight into it.
What a start. Guys and girls, we have some cheeky people called Inside Airbnb, and what they have done is they have what they call it. They've trawled the whole of the website of Airbnb and retrieved all the data and surfaced it here. If you want to learn about Airbnb and what Airbnb doesn't want to tell you, go to insideairbnb.com, and this data is sitting in there. It's quite incredible.
Yep. You can bring it up by area. So we're in Sydney today, the whole of Sydney. There's some big numbers here.
Big numbers. Big numbers.
Yeah, I mean, talk about an oversupply of Airbnb. Who would have thought there's actually 20,632 live listings on Airbnb? Sounds a lot.
Wonder how many hotel rooms are in Sydney.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
Can we do a zoom up of the just to show that cluster of where all the Airbnbs are? If we sort of go, then obviously you can see there's a love for the coastline, waterfront, anything like that. So that's where that red cluster is, all the way starting from Palm Beach, down. Manly's got a lot, Northern Beaches, down. Sydney's got a lot, and then Bondi is pumping down to Coogee. So that's the cluster of Airbnbs in Sydney presently.
Yeah, there is a lot of them, that's for sure. And, even rural, still plenty of them. 20,632 live listings. That fills Sydney. And we're going to dive into a little bit about some of the trends. We've got a percentage here on what type of property. So 65.6 are an entire apartment or home. So you rent the place for the full thing.
Yep.
32% is a private room within the property. So that could include a granny flat or underneath the house, or even a spare bedroom. And then the missing 2% is a shared room or a hotel
Now, bear in mind, Airbnb was designed to be B&B, bed and breakfast, and you can see that they're only really doing the bed and breakfast concept or sharing of a house is a minority now, and the majority is actually whole accommodations, whole properties.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's a good reason you don't see more hotel rooms, and that's obviously because they're going to get clipped to be on the website and through the bookings. So, they've obviously just pushed people to their own website to avoid that.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people that have either got a spare bedroom and want to generate a bit of extra money, or can rent out the apartment or the house maybe whilst they're away, or whilst through the holiday season when nightly prices are up, it's popular.
It's huge. All right, so Airbnb, this is the topic, and I think it's really important for people to consider this when they're looking at these sort of numbers. A lot of people in the last 2 years have affectionately gone around New South Wales, around Australia. They've fallen in love with the property. They've had equity out of their metro property or property where they are. and then they've gone along and purchased something, and they've thought to themselves, we're going to use this property for ourselves. When we're not using the property for ourselves, we're going to Airbnb it, and they've referenced the prices that are currently in the market. Now, the question is, the prices that are currently in the market for the Airbnb, are they going to grow, or are they sustainable, or are they going to flop? Because is there going to be an oversupply of Airbnb because people, one, there's going to be more Airbnbs and a lot more of them because people are doing that, and two, are people going to say, you know what, I'm going to the ski fields or I'm going overseas, don't want to use Airbnbs anymore. It's not like, we've done that.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because some of the other data they record is number of nights per stay. So in the last 12 months, average nights booked were 28, $255 a night. So that's an average income of $6,521 on a stay.
Yeah, interesting.
I reckon that's a long booking, in my opinion.
That is. Now, Billy Bob, Billy Boy, Billy Bo, how many, I've just found out how many hotel rooms are in Sydney.
I'm going to guess there's 30,000. No, 20,000.
I think you've cheated. I think you've cheated.
I haven't cheated.
There are 20,000.
I'm just good guess. If I was a betting man, just good at guessing. Yeah, well, that's there you go, 20,000.
Morning, Michelle. Yeah, right. So that's how. If you want to sort of quantify what a Goliath and Behemoth Airbnb is, they are now equivalent to the entire hotel industry in Sydney. So they're neck to neck.
Yeah, I would have never thought you could compare them like that. To be honest, I know Airbnb are big, but I didn't think they were the size of the hotel industry.
Yeah, you're big, Billy. And also, you've got some experience with this. You do this with your own property.
Yeah, sorry. That's right. So I had my property on Airbnb late last year, and I'm probably going to put it back on towards the end of this year. And even though the availability is not, people are not able to book until later in the year, I've already had a couple bookings come in for December. And what I've noticed on my place is the nightly price to stay is up 10% from when I had it listed last year. And it was full last year most of the time. So I'm not sure if I had it on cheap, but there's definitely a little bit of about a 10% increase I'm getting on the per night stay.
Yeah, that's nice. So where are you going to put the ladies in December, Billy? You're going to have a hard time.
Well, yeah, we'll work that out.
Fair enough.
Buy another property.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to. Okay, so in summary, we've identified a couple of things. Airbnb is now used to connect with the hotel industry, the spot stuff. We've identified that there's definitely been a trend of people buying properties and Airbnb them. So there's definitely going to be a supply. We've identified that Airbnb is very far from a bed and breakfast. When you can see the data there, 60% of them. You want to get rid of that map over it.
Yeah,
What are you want to do? Show us anything else on there?
I wanted to just highlight the license part. So we were talking off air. You do have to have like a registration number to be on Airbnb. It's quite easy to do, but it looks like most landlords are not doing that. 59.1% are unlicensed. Only 34% are licensed. And then 6.5% are exempt.
Yeah, there are also Billy Bob, Billy Boy, Terry Shearer does do insurance for Airbnb. I know
Wow.
when I believe it was about $300 for the year. It is insurable.
There you go. 38.5% of short-term stays. Listings per host. So yeah, there's some really good info in there. There's some really good info.
Inside Airbnb.com.
Yep. It'll give you the breakdown.
The future of Airbnb.
I think it's a good model. I definitely think there's I think they're going to have continued success. I think Australia is definitely as much as people are going away overseas, and you were saying you've got to watch this pattern now. What people are doing with their holidays, if they're returning to the ski slopes and shores overseas. But I think there's going to be a lot of people coming to Oz. I think we're on the shopping list.
We Australians used to take $60 billion offshore for holidays.
It's a lot of money.
And then equally, holiday makers onto our shores. A lot of money. So it'll be interesting to see when these people come from offshore to Sydney. Are they going to be Airbnb, or are they going to be staying in hotels, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to dollars per night, and if the dollars per night are not sort of tempting enough to keep it on there because it's a lot of work, then people like myself will just go back to a normal tenant because rents hopefully are going to start to move up anyway.
So we consider the work. How many hours a week would you attribute to the leasing capacity when you get the property ready to take the cash out of the Airbnb?
Well, say my place is a small one-bedroom, to put this into perspective, but say a couple of hours to clean it and get up there because it's not too far away. Hopefully you've only got 1 or 2 changeovers per week. So you've got a guest staying for at least 3 or 4 nights. And then hopefully, they're quite easygoing and there's no issues. You probably spend, I reckon, about 5 hours per changeover by the time you've done everything.
So what did that equate to? 10 hours a week for a one-bedder?
Yeah. With a couple of changeovers, 5 to 10 hours a week, I reckon.
That includes the leasing, the money taking, the cleaning, the linen, everything.
Yeah, you got to remember there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Obviously, going to the shops to buy the cleaning stuff. Messaging the tenant when they make the booking, messaging them the instructions once they're a day or 2 out. Saying thank you at the end. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Managing reviews.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So, for a house, so that's for a one-bedroom house. You may find you're up to is what to look after a Airbnb.
Yeah, well, I know another host also works in the office. She has a 3-bedroom apartment, and we used to joke together about doing the washing and the ironing at midnight to get it ready for the next day. It's like, I think whether you're a 1-bedroom or a house, you're in the same crazy cycle. It's a lot of work.
So, bear in mind that that's a full working day, or maybe a full working day.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Yeah.
Say that again?
Money's great.
Yeah, better than rent. Yeah, I reckon an extra 20 to 30% on what my estimated rental return would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's Airbnb for you today, kids.
That's the show.
All right. Thanks, Billy. Anything else to add before we go?
No, you look beautiful, Mark. Thank you for your time.
Beautiful, man. Airbnb oversupply. Is it going to happen? Your opinion?
I think we're good.
And I think you think a no, I think yes.
Yeah. Also, happy birthday, Jack Drew. Happy 18th.
Yeah, happy birthday to your brother.
Yeah.
18
finally,
years.
yeah, he finally made it.
Yeah. Now it's a different jail if he goes to jail.
It's true.
Yeah, it's not the what's the fun one? Yeah, it's not
And no more
juvie.
no juvie.
Hey, he's a good man. All right, mate, take care.
All right.
See ya. Bye.